we're going to learn how to solve a multi-step equation. Now, notice this first equation. We have to use the distributive property to get rid of these parentheses. So to do that, we're going to multiply 5 times x, which is 5x, and then 5 times negative 1 as well, which is negative 5. We bring down the equals 25, and then to undo this subtraction, we're going to add 5 to both sides. When I add 5 to negative 5, that equals 0, and I'm left with 5x. 25 plus 5 is 30. Now I want to undo the multiplication here, 5 times x. To undo multiplication, we divide. Notice 5 divided by 5 is 1. So 1x equals 6. You can always check your answers to make sure you're doing them right by plugging it back into the original problem. So 5 times 6 minus 1, I want to know if that's 25. Well, 5 times 5 is definitely 25, so it does work. Let's try another one. Okay, on this one, you'll notice our distribution is a little backwards, and our variable is on the other side. It still works the same way. Okay, so we're going to distribute this time negative 2, starting with x, so that's negative 2x. We read left to right, we distribute left to right. Then negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. And then don't forget your equals and your negative 1. Once again, we want to undo this addition, so we want to subtract 6 from both sides. Negative 1 minus 6 is negative 7. Over here, 6 minus 6 is 0. I'm left with negative 2x. Then I want to divide by negative 2. X equals, we can either write our answer as 7/2, which is a very good answer. You could also write it as 3 1/2, or 3.5. All three of these answers will work because they are exact. Once again, you can also check this by plugging it back here in the original problem. So let's try number 3. Alright, so this time I have x over 3 minus 7 plus 1 equals negative 10. Now this one doesn't have distribution because there are no parentheses, but it does have something called combining like terms. So that's what I want to do. Negative 7 and 1 are like terms because they're both constants. Neither of them have x's, so we can add them together. Negative 7 plus 1 is negative 6. Then, once again, I want to add 6 to both sides to undo the subtraction. So x over 3 equals negative 4. Now, this time, this fraction just means division, so I want to undo division, which means we need to multiply. Now notice when I multiply this, 3x over 3 is what I end up with, and that's just 1x. So 1x equals negative 12. Once again, you can check it by plugging it in. Right, one more. 3/4 times x minus 12 plus 6 equals 8. Actually, I might do one more after this. So we're going to start by distributing, which gives me 3/4 x. 3/4 times negative 12 is negative 9, and then bring down the plus 6. We do not distribute to the 6 because it's not inside the parentheses. Negative 9 plus 6 is negative 3. Make sure you don't forget about the 3/4 x, or the minus 8. Then add 3 to both sides. So 3/4 x equals 11. Now this time we have to undo an entire fraction. To undo a fraction, we multiply by the reciprocal. We never divide fractions. Okay, it's bad math. So the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. If it had been negative 3/4, it would be negative 4/3. Now notice when I do that, 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 over 12 is 1. So 1x equals 44 over 3. Or you could also say 14 2/3. Either of these answers, I believe that's right, 1, 3 goes into 14. Let's try 12 and 2/3. I'm sorry. 44 over 3 or 22 over 2/3 would both be correct. You cannot give a decimal answer here. It will not be exact. But 44 over 3 is good. 12 and 2/3 is also good. All right, last one. All right, a problem like this. There is an understood 1 next to this parentheses. You do not distribute that 7. You distribute the -1. So that would be -x minus 1 equals 5. Then once again, combine our like terms. 7 minus 1 is 6, minus x equals 5. There is an understood plus in front of the 6, so I want to subtract 6 from both sides. That gives me 0 there, so -x equals -1, but you're not done because there's a -1 in front of the x. Divide by -1. So x equals +1. Once again, you can check this in the original problem.